What was the most amount of money that you've made in a single year?
Just over a billion euros a year.
€1 billion.
Yeah.
Have you ever been broke before?
Yes, several times, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe 10 years ago, I was in Cyprus, there was a banking crisis, and I lost all my money in the banks there.
What's a lesson about money that banks don't want people to know?
That your money doesn't belong to you when you put it in the bank.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Break that down.
Well, it doesn't belong to you. When you put the money into their bank, you're investing in them.
Did you go to college?
And no, I was expelled from school when I was 13 years old.
You never went back?
Never went back, no. No,
Yeah.
never.
But you ended up making more than 99.9% of business professors ever will. So what's a lesson about business you'd give to somebody that they will not learn in university?
Give me a friend and I'll tell you who you are. Birds of a feather flock together.
Break that one down for people out there.
Just you are the company that you keep, so be careful of the company that you keep. You know, you can't fly like a swan when you're surrounded by turkeys.
So
if you're around 5 drunks, you'll be the 6th drunk. If you're around 5 billionaires, you'll be the 6th billionaire.
Right.
Your company you keep is very important, yeah.
So Richard Branson is the billionaire founder of Virgin Group, one of the most recognizable and diverse brands in the world. From telecommunications to transport, Richard has done it all and taken plenty of risks along the way, building more than 40 companies in over 35 countries globally.
Anything's possible. I mean, it's, so I think surrounding yourself with the right people is key. I think dyslexic people are brilliant in some ways, but they've obviously got some issues, and those issues is why I left school early and started, started creating things rather than learning conventional schooling, which was doing nothing for me, to be honest.
All right, guys, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to bring someone to the Rebel Capitalist Show that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. I am so excited he is here. He is a man that needs no introduction whatsoever. His name is Robert Kiyosaki.
I am honored, because I am your biggest fan. We're talking about our education background is similar. We flunked out. I flunked out of high school twice because I can't write. And it's not that I can't write, it's the teacher didn't like what I was writing. My old man, the poor dad, was the head of education for Hawaii. You know, a PhD from Stanford, Northwestern, University of Chicago. And his oldest son, me, I'm flunking out of school. And it's not that I love learning, I just hated school.
You will discover who George Gammon really is and his team that is so strong. And most importantly, how it will surely give you massive hope for your better future, your families, and humanity. The man respected by many other big leaders.
I've respected George for so many years, and now
Robert.
He lives next door. I mean, through that wall is George's office because we got rid of our CEO, which is a good thing. Replaced it with George. So I was saying the other day, I said it's like having God upstairs because when I need a question, I just call George. I'm upstairs. So George is upstairs. He's the God of macro.
Brent Johnson, a lot of
Kiyosaki
was there. Yeah, and it's just become this this movement that I'm very proud of.
I love it. I love the work you do. When your stuff pops up and I'm listening to it, I get smarter by the time I'm done listening to what you have to say. Your views are very, you're a good teacher in the way you explain things, and it's obvious why you're growing.
Hi folks, Canadian Prepper here. Today on the channel I have a very special guest, George Gammon. He has a popular YouTube financial channel called the Rebel Capitalist, as well as he has one that's self-titled, I do believe. Great channels that I've been watching for a few years. To people who aren't that well versed in economics like myself, that was very helpful.
Please welcome back a fellow macroeconomic enthusiast, founder of Rebel Capitalist, and overall great guy, George Gammon. Always good to see you.
Thanks for having me. Mom, welcome to the Rebel Capitalist Show.
Hi, George. You were a handful. You were just a handful. Oh my gosh, you were a handful.
Because I was getting in trouble all the time.
You were getting into trouble. You paid no attention to authority. It was just, oh my goodness.
And I did not do well in school.
You didn't do, I think you probably might have done better than I thought you did. I don't know.
And keep in mind, I almost flunked out of high school.
I know. I know.
This here's a financial statement. This is the basis of financial literacy. Income, expense, assets, liabilities. They don't teach this in school. So this was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's all I did. Financial literacy is what's the definition of a word? What's an income? What's an expense? Asset, liability. But more important, this here was Poor Dad. All he cared about was his income. What the rich care about is the balance sheet. And so the object of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, what school teachers focus on here, to what the rich focus on here. I'll just say this much. When I was flunking out of high school because I can't write, and my rich dad said to me, it's my best friend's father, he says, Robert, my banker's never asked me for my report card yet. I said, what? My banker doesn't care if I had good grades or not. Because Rich Dad never finished school, because his father died when he was 13. He took over the family business. He says, this is what your banker wants to see. So with that, I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because this is your report card when you leave school. This is what your banker wants to see. And I would easily say 99% of all students your age have never seen one of these. And so no financial literacy in school.
Mr. Beast recently turned down a $1 billion offer for his YouTube channel. He said maybe if it was 10 or 20 billion, I would even consider it. Do you think that he made a bad call?
Let's do some basic math. His most viewed video is 293 million views. That's the $456,000 Squid Game. His one channel alone has generated a minimum of $850 million, and I'm calculating only one commercial. I think he's right, 10 to 20 billion dollars is the right number.
My investment is the content here, and any money I take out is usually just to free up time.
We're diving into the jaw-dropping journey of Mr. Beast, the YouTuber who went from a small-time gamer to YouTube's first potential billionaire. Can you imagine turning down a $1 billion offer for your channel? That's exactly what Mr. Beast did. So let's rewind to 2012 when 13-year-old Jimmy Donaldson, aka Mr. Beast, launched his channel under the quirky name Mr. Beast 6000. His big break came in 2016 with the Worst Intros series, skyrocketing his subscribers from 30,000 to 100,000 in just a year. Fast forward to 2018, Mr. Beast had 10 million subscribers. By 2020, Mr. Beast's content had transformed with insane stunts and massive giveaways, drawing millions of new subscribers monthly. His video budgets soared from $10,000 to $300,000, and by 2023, his videos cost a staggering $2.5 million each. His most expensive video, the $1 versus $500,000 plane ticket, cost $5 million. On June 1st, 2024, Mr. Beast surpassed T-Series, becoming the most subscribed YouTube channel with 288 million subscribers. His channel alone pulls in an estimated $50 million a month. With his massive reach and audience engagement, he earns between $4,000 and $6,000 in ad revenue for every million views. Additionally, brands pay him substantial fees, estimated between $2 million and $10 million for access to his massive audience. But Mr. Beast doesn't stop there. Beyond YouTube, his first video on X earned $263,655 in January 2024. With these earnings, Mr. Beast is on track to become the first billionaire YouTuber.
This is kind of the turning point was when I graduated from high school, and my whole life I was like, I want to be making enough money by the time I graduated to do this full time. So I graduated high school, and my mom was like, either move out or go to a community college. And I didn't have enough money to move out, but I really I hated school with a passion. But she forced me to go to community college, and that was the worst thing ever. Like that made me hate life. Like borderline suicidal. I just can't stand like having to just sit there and listen to this dumb stuff and listen to some teacher read out a book. I would act like I was going to community college, but I would just work on videos in my car and edit and stuff like that. I had straight zeros. And so now the clock had started because once my mom found out, I was screwed. I had a month where I made 20 grand, and then I yeah, I came home and I was like, yeah, I haven't been going to college, and I moved out the next day. My mom almost had a heart attack because she didn't understand YouTube or anything back then, and she was like, man, this guy's gonna work at McDonald's. I wasted all this time. Like, I invested 18 years, and this is what I get.
Join me in welcoming Mark Moss from Market Disruptors.
All right. Now, in order to understand where we're going, let's just jump and look into the future.
And I was listening to Mark Moss, and I was going, oh my God, he knows a lot about this. Mark is a researcher supreme, and I was listening to his program on it. I thought all of you should hear what he has to say. What do you think, Kim?
I'm always fascinated to talk to Mark because he has a wealth of information and you study history.
Welcome back to Hard Money. Joining me this week is investor, analyst, and author Mark Moss. Mark, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Natalie. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Hey, it's my pleasure to welcome a returning guest and a good buddy of mine, Mark Moss, back to the show.
Thanks so much, Jason. Yeah, love always being back with you and hanging out and talking.
Well, it's always great to have you.
"2022 has been a brutal bear market for crypto. Joining me to discuss this and to give us his crypto and Bitcoin outlook for 2023 is Mark Moss, host of The Mark Moss Show. He is a Bitcoin and macro-focused investor with over 25 years of experience as a full-time investor entrepreneur. And he is also the author of Uncommunist Manifesto and the CEO of Market Disruptor. Mark, great to have you with us here on Kitco.
Yeah, thanks so much. I'm excited to be here.
And we're also very thrilled to have Mark Moss joining us today. So Mark, welcome. Thank you for your time. Great to have you.
Oh, thanks so much. It's an honor being here. You guys do amazing work.
I'm reading these research reports, hundreds and hundreds of research reports from other people. So you kind of start to figure out how to put it together.
Did you go to college and all that?
Nah, I didn't go to college.
Answer.
Yeah, I didn't go to college. My parents really wanted me to go to college, and I didn't. Unfortunately, I have to say this, especially to like my kids. It's like I'm not a fan of college, but that doesn't mean that I don't like education.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct. I just wanted to learn what I wanted to learn. I didn't want to learn this other stuff, and more importantly, I wanted to learn it. And I wanted to apply it.
And today in the world is this gap between the rich and everybody else. And I know the game of the rich. The game the bankers and the rich play is different than what they teach you in school. My poor dad, PhD, stands for poor, helpless, and desperate. They don't know anything about money. And they're teaching our kids. I'm sitting in this classroom, and my MBA accounting teacher doesn't know accounting. I'm going nuts. I'm not an accountant, but I knew he wasn't an accountant also, so I took him on. I said, are you an accountant? He goes, I have a master's in accountancy. I said, that's not the question. Are you an accountant? I have a master's in accountancy. He said, you're a fake. When I listen to what people are teaching kids about accountancy, it's bad accountancy. They count anything of value as an asset. They count your car as an asset, your house as an asset, when it's really taking money from your pocket. And my poor dad is now broke. PhD didn't help him. And so I'll ask everybody this question again. What did school teach you about money? Answer is nothing. That's not a mistake, Vlad. It's part of the Communist Manifesto. Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. This became fake, but the economy boomed. Real estate boomed.
Yeah.
Because they were printing this as fast as they wanted to.
Right.
Every time America got into trouble, they printed this.
Can you briefly explain what happens when the government prints a lot of money? Who does it impact and how?
Well, there's inflation. Many people can't afford to eat anymore.
It has become expensive.
Yeah, the homeless people in America, some of them are drugs, obviously. A lot of them just can't afford a house.
Right. Same is the situation in India.
Yeah, because this is toilet paper. And our school teachers will never tell us this because the school teachers are Marxists.
We tell briefly what a Marxist means.
Taxes.
A lifespan of when we are productive, and then comes retirement, and you retired early.
Because I don't follow the go to school, get a job, work hard, save. See, that's hypnosis. They hypnotize people into being employees who will work hard, pay taxes, save money. Until you question those sayings, those words, you'll be a poor person. So when they lend out, why is debt tax free?
I don't know.
Because that's how money is created. And so the banks love it. They love people borrow lots of money. How do I get rich? I borrow money. And I buy assets with it. By 2010, I had borrowed $300 million to buy real estate. That made me rich. And the interest rates kept coming down, so that my cost of money kept coming down. And so everybody else is saying, oh, you should get out of debt. You know why? Because they don't question the hypnosis they're under. You've been hypnotized to work hard for money, to save it. So the question is, how do you learn to use debt to get rich? Because they tell you not to get out of debt. So all I'm saying to you is, if a person does not question what they've been taught, they will always be poor. They've been hypnotized into being poor. And the average person has been hypnotized. Go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, and invest in a pension. And you never get your money back. The whole thing was designed to keep you poor. Until a person questions what's already been put in their head. The people that are being screwed today are the poor and middle class because they work for money. You know, the banker friends, they're not working for money.
They have money working for them.
Yeah.
Right.
Very big difference in mentality here. You know, money is, the financial industry is two things, debt and taxes. And we still tell kids to go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, and get out of debt.
Saving money will make you rich.
Yeah, it never will. Why would you save it and why would you work for it if they can print it faster than you can work for it? Our schools will never teach you that. The way to keep the poor and middle class working hard is never teach them what the rich know. They don't want what we know out there. So that's why fake is fake money, fake teachers, fake assets. Question I ask all over the world, what does school teach you about money? And the answer is nothing. They know nothing about money. And they teach our kids. In real life, seek your teachers. If you listen to a school teacher about money, I'll pray for you tonight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?